Did you know that for over 200 years, the primary public school textbook in America was a little book called The New England Primer? In this book, children learned the alphabet through Bible rhymes. A. In Adam's fall, we sinned all. C. Christ crucified for sinners died. Students were taught a morning and evening prayer and actually studied the basics of the Christian faith and Christian character in the first years of school. Millions of these primers were in homes and classrooms. The founders and millions of Americans used the New England Primer and the Bible to learn to read. Back in that day, God was honored in education instead of being expelled from class as he is today.
You know, through the decades, our school systems and the curriculum in our public schools has been so altered that the average American doesn't know American history. And what they are least informed about is the godly heritage of America, the founding principles, where they came from. They don't understand the Judeo-Christian roots upon which America was founded.
If we want to know who we are, so we can function in the way we want for the future, we have to go back and find out who we were.
To help your children learn the truth about our past, we'd like to take a group from your school on an amazing God and Country tour of some of America's most historic places. It will be a fabulous trip. They will learn why America is such an exceptional nation. Most of them will hear about God's role in American history for the very first time. Yes, they will have an incredible amount of fun and adventure. It's a time with their teachers and fellow students that they will never forget.
You learn, but it doesn't feel like learning because it's still fun and you've got all your friends.
I'd say it was the best week of my life. I have never felt as patriotic as when I was watching this changing of the guard ceremony.
I got to stand right where Martin Luther King Jr. stood.
It was incredible to see the original Declaration of Independence right there, John Hancock's name.
I love the Lincoln Memorial. It was so much bigger than I thought it would be from seeing in my textbooks at school.
Coming here in person and seeing it is just completely different.
To describe the whole trip in one word, inspiring.
During the trip, young people discover how belief in God and respect for the Bible really motivated great leaders like George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, Thomas Jefferson, and even modern heroes like Martin Luther King. Sending your child on a God and Country tour will bring them face to face with many great men and women of faith. They will learn that God's hand of divine providence is hidden in plain sight. It's in the remnants of Jamestown, Virginia. It's on the streets of Williamsburg. It's in the walls of Mount Vernon. It's carved in stone on the Lincoln Memorial. And it's clearly visible in the words of Thomas Jefferson on the walls of the Jefferson Memorial. Here's one example. Jefferson said, "God, who gave us life, gave us liberty. Can the liberties of a nation be secure when we have removed a conviction that these liberties are a gift from God?" On a God and Country tour, your children will experience America's Christian legacy firsthand. They will develop a whole new appreciation for the price of the freedom and liberty they enjoy every day. Their future and their perspective on America will be changed forever.
I feel like a real citizen with a real voice.
This trip really made me rethink about politics and what I want to do when I grow up.
Growing up and learning about history in the public schools and finally getting to see it firsthand, it was quite an adventure, quite an eye-opener.
It's a great way to really revisit not just history, but the whole heritage and the Christian history of this country.
Our guide was the best. He made sure we learned a lot, but it wasn't boring.
From the time you wake up to when you go to bed, you're always doing something fun.
I highly recommend that every Christian should participate in this tour to find out the deep roots of our Christian heritage.
Sign up for this trip as soon as you can.
The whole premise of taking your child on a God and Country tour is to let them experience America's history from a Christian perspective. Would you like your children to see firsthand the faith of our founders? So many of them had strong biblical convictions and a deep reverence for God. Their faith inspired them to do many of the great things that they did. It is so important that all of our children experience this.
I remember the first time I came to Washington and I was fascinated with, yes, the architecture, yes, the politics, yes, the history, yes, the beauty, but there was a lot I didn't even realize was here, and the Christian heritage of this city is really striking. And there were leaders here that God raised up whose legacy is still enshrined in a lot of the monuments and the places and the documents and the artwork. You know, I've lived here 23 years, and my wife and I still are discovering the blessings that God gave to our country through the men and women in this city. And we have the opportunity to learn from that history and be part of that history.
The God and Country Tour will inspire your kids to trust God and the Bible with the challenges they face in life, just like the founders did. What better way to prepare them to be the citizens of tomorrow? Sign up today for your God and Country Tour. You have the opportunity to do something for your child that they will remember for a lifetime. Send your children on a God and Country Tour. Help them learn what America, as one nation under God, really means.